Well, Marwan Bishara is Al Jazeera's senior political analyst, joining us now from Doha. Marwan, the biggest concern with this ceasefire deal is, can either side be trusted to ensure that this deal does continue, not just throughout stage 1, but 2 and 3?
Yes, absolutely. Though I would take a bit of an exception to both sides. I think Gaza and Hamas in Gaza have every possible reason to want the ceasefire to continue, to want to go to phase 2 and discuss reconstruction. It is in their interest. And certainly they would like to move to phase 3 in order to discuss the future of a presumed Palestinian state. What is there not to like in terms of promises and in terms of, desired ends, as if you will, if there is good faith? So I think the Palestinian side has every reason to want to move from one stage to another and want to do it in good faith. The question is, yes, you guessed it, the Israeli government has absolutely no incentive to do so, because they actually been telling us that. It doesn't require an analyst, it certainly doesn't require rocket science to know that the Israelis are acting in bad faith. And not just bad faith, as kind Francesca just told us. It's petty, it's disgusting, it's sadistic, it is bloody. Why should tens of people die in this wasted time between signing a deal and the deal to go into being forced on Sunday? There's absolutely no reason. It is, as I said, petty and sadistic, and certainly not done in good faith. So the Israelis are discussing in open air. They are discussing why they don't want to move from phase 1 to phase 2 to phase 3. The Palestinians have every possible reason to do so.
And some of the sticking obstacles, it seems, is being reported that it's around the Philadelphia corridor, when it comes also to definitions of buffer zones, not just in the north of the Gaza Strip, but also to the east, as well, it seems, as release of certain prisoners. These have been some of the sticking points. What are the concerns when it comes to the Philadelphia corridor specifically?
I'm going to be more than happy to discuss each and every one of those in details if we have the time. But let me just preface it by saying, again, it's done in bad faith, and there's going to be no way out of this deal going to be enforced on Sunday, because it's the United States that said so. Netanyahu is playing games. He's a clown who prefers a circus to the real world. The Americans have already made their desire clear, both Trump and Biden. It's done deal. We are reporting about the theatrics that are happening in Israel, no more than that. Now, having said that, the Philadelphia corridor is not something we discuss with the Palestinians. It's not a Palestinian business. The deal was done in 2005 between Egypt and Israel. It is not a Palestinian issue. This is an international border with Egypt, and hence it will be Egypt to decide.
And
but having said that, the real concern today is about yes.
And Marwan, sorry,
let me just add this one thing, because this is really what they are discussing now. What they're discussing now is Israel added 9 more injured Israeli soldiers that they want them to be released. The Palestinian side said, okay, what are you going to give us in return? So this is an added thing by the Israelis last minute, just because, again, Netanyahu wants to play games.
Okay, and speaking, you were mentioning of Egypt there, that the Philadelphia corridor is a Israel-Egypt thing. Now, Egypt is one of the mediators, as is the US and Qatar. Now, Egypt has just come out saying that it would be willing to host a reconstruction conference when it comes to Gaza. What does that actually mean in terms of reconstruction? Because there's really not much of it in terms of how much has been destroyed since this war started.
There's absolutely a huge endeavor, a huge challenge, not just the construction, but pre-construction. Imagine for a second that there are going to be millions of tons of debris that have to be cleared out. In the debris, there's apparently some 10, 11,000 missing Palestinians. So we're talking about 10,000 dead Palestinians in the debris today, in the destruction, under the destroyed buildings. So there's going to be a long process of clearing out and starting the building. And clearly the Egyptians and others are going to be interested in helping with the reconstructions and investing, if you will, even in the reconstruction. The problem is that all of that, for the time being, is a bit far, because what we have today in Israel, again, if I must emphasize the question of Israel, is that they don't want to move to, as you stated there, the second phase, and hence started the third phase of reconstruction. They want Hamas to cease firing and for Israel to continue firing. That's a ceasefire. Or they would like Hamas to cease to exist and for Israel to continue to fire. Even the fascists in Israel would like Netanyahu to cease, or else he would be fired, right, by some kind of bringing down the government. So up until we get to the reconstruction, I think we're talking years down the road, not months, not a couple of years, and so on and so forth. And yes, I think the Egyptians and the Qataris and the Americans, they're going to have a huge role to play in their oversight about the implementation of the deal and moving it from phase 1 to phase 2 to phase 3 so that we can get to the reconstruction in Gaza.
Okay, thanks very much, Marwan Bishara, our senior political analyst.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.